Chapter 45. Mahamate once more asked the Buddha, according to the Bhagavan, everything is non-arising and illusory. But when he says what is non-arising is illusory, is there not a contradiction in the Bhagavan's earlier and later statements? The Buddha told Mahamate, it is not true that when I say what is non-arising is illusory, there is a contradiction in my earlier and later statements. And why not? Because what arises does not arise. When you realize that whether something exists or not is nothing but the perception of your own mind, its external existence is seen as non-existent and non-arising. Mahamate, there is no contradiction in my earlier and later statements. However, it is to refute the arising from causes of other schools that I say everything is non-arising. Mahamate, the confused members of other schools maintain the arising of existence or non-existence, and deny that they are the result of attachment to their own projections. Mahamate, because I deny the arising of existence or non-existence, I teach the teaching of non-arising. Mahamate, I teach existence to refute the nihilistic view that nothing exists, and so that my disciples will accept samsara, so that they will accept that where they are reborn involves differences in karma. Thus I teach existence so that they will accept samsara. Mahamate, I teach the illusoriness of self-existence so that they will get free of self-existence. But due to erroneous views and hopes, foolish people are unaware that these are nothing but the perceptions of their own minds. To refute arising from causes and attachment to the self-existence of conditions, and to prevent foolish people from clinging to erroneous views and hopes regarding what belongs to themselves and others, and from creating mistaken doctrines about how to see things as they really are, I teach that the self-existence of everything is an illusion and a dream. Mahamate, to see things as they really are means to transcend what are nothing but perceptions of your own mind. The Buddha then repeated the meaning of this in verse.
Non-arising means non-existence. Existence includes samsara. Who sees these as illusions doesn't give rise to projections of form.
Section 46. Moreover, Mahamate, I will explain the characteristics of word, phrase, and letter units. For bodhisattvas who become adept at examining the characteristics of word, phrase, and letter units, and at penetrating the meaning of word, phrase, and letter units, will quickly attain unexcelled, perfect enlightenment. And once they are thus enlightened, they will enlighten others. Mahamate, as for a word unit, a word is established based on an object. This is what is meant by a word unit. As for a phrase unit, a phrase is a unit of meaning. It defines or determines the self-existence of something. This is what is meant by a phrase unit. As for a letter unit, it points to a word or phrase. This is what is meant by a letter unit. Moreover, a letter unit can be long or short, high or low. Also, a phrase unit is a footprint. For example, a footprint left by a person or by an animal, like a horse or an elephant, can be called a phrase unit. Mahamate, as for words and letters, we use words to refer to the four formless skandhas. Thus, we speak of words, and we use letters to point to their individual characteristics. Thus, we speak of letters. This is what is meant by word, phrase, and letter units, and why I say distinguishing the characteristics of word, phrase, and letter units is something you all should cultivate. The Buddha then repeated the meaning of this in verse.
Distinguishing units of letters, units of words and phrases. People who foolishly cling to these are like elephants in a quagmire.